And now from the Greensboro Coliseum, it's the 1984 ACC Tournament Championship game. Today, the Blue Devils of Duke battle the Terrapins of Maryland, and these two teams have been here before. 1980, same two schools, same arena. Duke leading by 1. Dutch Morley gets a pass to Albert King. The shot misses. Buck Williams can't grab the rebound, and Duke wins the championship 73-72 over Maryland. 1981, the Terps are back battling North Carolina. Ernie Graham scores with 22 seconds to play to get Maryland within 3 of the Tar Heels. Then later on, an Albert King miss and a Graham rebound get the Terps within 1. But North Carolina holds on to win it by a point. Lefty Driesell has been in this championship game 5 times without a win. It's been close, but no cigar for Lefty.
So, I think we've been in the finals more in the last 15 years than the other schools, except North Carolina. And if I'd have won those 5 games, y'all probably say I was, greatest tournament coach in the world. And that is, we've lost those 5. I guess, say, why come Lefty can't win the tournament? It just had a little bad luck. And, the law of averages is with us this year, so we'll probably walk away with it.
The Duke Blue Devils have fought their way to this championship game this year. First round action this year, Duke against Georgia Tech. Tommy Amaker buries a shot from deep on the wing with 9 seconds to play in overtime. And the Blue Devils defeat Georgia Tech 67-63 in first round action. Yesterday afternoon, semifinal play, upset in the making. Duke beats North Carolina 77-75 when Sam Perkins' long throw is over the backboard, and the Blue Devils upset the #1 team of the nation, touching off this emotional scene on the Coliseum floor here in Greensboro. Now today, Duke and Maryland are down to it. The 1984 ACC Tournament Championship game is a presentation of Raycom Sports and Jefferson Pilot Teleproductions.
Hi again, everyone. Live at Greensboro's Coliseum, this is Paul Cameron. I want to welcome you to the final game of the 1984 ACC Championship. Our semifinal scores from last night: Duke beats North Carolina 77-75, and Maryland a bucket better than Wake Forest. So that gives us today's match, Duke and Maryland. Let's go courtside now to the gentlemen who'll be calling that game, Fred White and Jeff Mullins.
Thank you very much, Paul, and welcome everyone to one of the greatest sporting events in the world. And Jeff Mullins, I don't know how it does it, but every year somehow this tournament managed to live up to all the expectations.
And we started with 8 teams, and now we're down to 2. The championship game, it should be a real good one.
I don't know, the fans in here, the excitement continues to build. They're just roaring. They continue to build the excitement toward game time. We're just moments away from tip-off now. Let's go back up to Paul Cameron.
So it is Duke and Maryland for the 1984 championship of the Atlantic Coast Conference. 2 teams who split during the regular season. We've got more coming. The start of today's game coming up next.
Don't try to stop me, don't try to stop me. Don't try to stop me, don't try to stop me.
This is ACC basketball with Clemson, Duke, Georgia Tech, Maryland, North Carolina State, Virginia, and Wake Forest. This live coverage is brought to you by Natural Light, by the Jefferson Pilot Corporation, by Piedmont Airlines, by Holiday Inn, by Mazda, by Belk and Leggett Stores, and by Central Fidelity Bank.
And the eyes of the college basketball world now turn on Greensboro this Sunday, March 11th. Welcome back, everybody. This is Paul Cameron for the 1984 championship of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Duke and Maryland, 2 teams that split during the regular season on the opposite man's home court. Let's go back down courtside and begin the game with our announcers.
Welcome to the floor of the Greensboro Coliseum. I'm Fred White along with Jeff Mullins. I think this is where electricity is made. Jeff, you feel the excitement in here today. You think about these 2 teams. They've come so far to get to this point. Let's talk about the psychology of this ball game today.
Well, today, KG Lefty Driesell matches wits against young coach Mike Krzyzewski. Lefty Driesell has been to the championship well 5 times and come up dry each time, Fred. But that could change today. For Coach Krzyzewski, without question, the biggest game of his young coaching career.
And I'm sure that both these basketball teams look back to last year and remember their recent history.
Every team in the country looks forward to winning a national championship, and NC State proved to the world that it could be done. What better incentive for Duke and Maryland today?
We have seen the emotion Duke showed us after they beat Carolina yesterday. Can Mike Krzyzewski get them to the proper level, do you think?
They're a very young team. They won a big game yesterday, but Mike has to bring them down and realize that the real championship is today. They have to be ready to play a tough Maryland team.
They're a young club that has been responding to every challenge put before them this year. Let's get to the matchups in this basketball game and talk about the two teams involved.
I think the key thing will be the Duke backcourt, the quickness of their backcourt, offensively and defensively, and the size, power, and strength of Maryland inside. Those will be the key to the game.
Again, it is Lefty Driesell in this championship game for the sixth time trying to win his first postseason tournament. Mike Krzyzewski, building the Duke program rapidly, has them in the championship game today. We're just about set to go in Greensboro. Two outstanding ball clubs just about set to wrap up this tournament. It has been outstanding to this point. Again, it followed the form chart until yesterday afternoon, and then Duke exploded the form chart. They exploded this building. Today, still not an empty seat in the place. We're set to go, and to meet the starting lineups, let's go to Larry Dunlap.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Greensboro Coliseum for the championship game of the ACC tournament. Here are today's starting lineups. Forward, number 32, 6'8" sophomore from Scottsdale, Arizona, Mark Allery. Forward, number 42, 6'6" senior from Jackson, Mississippi, Herman Veal. The other forwards, number 45, a 6'7" junior from St. Catharines, Ontario, Dan Mahar. Forward, number 34, 6'8" sophomore from Landover, Maryland, Lynn Bias. The centers, number 21, 6'8" sophomore from Rolling Hills, California, Jay Billis. And for Maryland, number 54, a 6'9" senior from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Ben Coleman. Guard, number 4, 6-foot freshman from Falls Church, Virginia, Tommy Amaker. Guard, number 24, 6'8" junior from Largo, Maryland, Adrian Branch. The other guards, number 24, 6'2" sophomore from Washington, D.C., Johnny Dawkins. The other guard, number 10, a 6'5" junior from Martinsville, Virginia, Jeff Atkins. The coach of the Blue Devils, Mike Krzyzewski. The coach of the Terrapins, Lefty Driesell.
Nothing more to say. Let's throw it up. We'll be back to tip it off for the ACC Championship after this word from Natural Light.
Another look at the jam-packed Greensboro Coliseum, and let's meet the officials for today's game. 3 veterans, 3 outstanding officials, Lenny Wirtz, Joe Forte, and Hank Nichols. And you know what? These 3 men amongst them have officiated 12 NCAA championship games. Jeff, quick question. Early minutes of the ball game. Thornton?
Well, I think every team likes to establish its pattern early. Duke will want to use his quickness, perhaps push the ball up the floor. Look for both teams to start in a man-to-man as Duke is.
Atkins pinned on the sideline by Amaker to Coleman. Billis comes out to covering. There's that matchup. Allery has Glenn Bias. That's Mahar on Veal. You talk about a physical matchup. Look at Mahar go after him. Veal takes the shot, gets an air ball. Allery hauls the rebound down, and Duke gets possession.
Key matchup on the other end, Fred. Herman Veal guarding Mark Allery. Veal, one of the better defenders in the ACC.
He's done the job. Two games in this tournament. Dawkins outside. Atkins defending him. That puts Branch on the point. Amaker. Interesting size matchup there. Dawkins working the wing. Goes to the corner. Loves it. Johnny Dawkins has that ball about 15 feet in the air and got nothing but net.
That That was just a great one-on-one move. Jeff Atkins was in perfect defensive position, did everything he could. Dawkins lofted it over his outstretched hands.
That's got to make a player feel good to get that shot down to start the ball game.
Duke in their man-to-man defense, but they're putting pressure on as far out as they can, trying to make Maryland kill some time moving the basketball.
Branch shot short, and I tell you what, Maryland looks a little bit tentative that trip up the court. Maybe the Duke defense caused them some problems the first two trips. They looked a little bit confused. It's just 2-0 Duke. We're very early. The ball deflected by Coleman. Lefty Drizel yelling something to his players. There's Mike Krzyzewski. I like the comment yesterday Mike said to his players and to his wife, look, let's all settle down. And Mickey Krzyzewski said, tell it to your players. I'm going to enjoy this thing for a while. Amaker goes top of the circle for Duke. The Blue Devils, 24-8. Maryland, 22-7. Danny Mahar. Dawkins takes the off-balance jumper. Can't get it. The ball's in the floor. Jay Billis picks up 2, and Duke is up 4-0.
Jay Billis has had 2 of his finest games the last 2 games of the season. He had 11 rebounds yesterday, his season high.
Adrian Branch deep on the wing, looks in. Cross court, down the baseline is Atkins. He has nowhere to go, and Duke takes it away. Dawkins pushing it up, 3-on-2. Great feed to Mahar, but he can't make the catch. It's out of bounds and belongs to Maryland.
Excellent vision that time by Johnny Dawkins. Threw the excellent pass to Mahar. He was screened and couldn't see the ball till the last minute. Dropped it out of bounds.
Adrian Branch. Dawkins bothering him. Now Beal taken away by Dawkins. He's got Mahar in front. They're 2-on-2. Dawkins goes to the hoop. The shot's up and in and out. Mahar trying to rebound. Atkins knocks it loose and Amaker picks it up. Boy, Atkins did a good job of getting back.
And the Duke defense is really giving the Terrapins trouble early. Their pressure is really bothering Maryland, forcing up some bad shots, creating a few turnovers.
Amaker's court sense is amazing. He had his back turned and turning new light where it goes. Dawkins buries it again from the deep corner. Boy, if he's going to stick it like that, Maryland may have a fun afternoon.
He likes that spot in the corner. Again, Jeff Atkins in good position. Just a tough shot.
We have played 3 minutes, 5 seconds. Maryland has not scored. They haven't even had a good shot. There's Bias with 1 from the top of the circle. Atkins pulls down the rebound. Maryland keeps the ball.
Fred, when you put pressure defense on the way Duke is now, you tend to get the teams running their offense too far away from the basket. Look where Atkins had to stop his dribble that time, 35 feet from the basket.
There's the steal. Danny Mahar takes it away. I'll tell you what, they have taken Maryland right out of their offense in the early going here. Duke playing beautiful, beautiful basketball. Amaker clears timeline. The Devils are up by 6. Long way to go. 16-17 left in the first half. Mallory's first shot won't go, and Coleman muscled the rebound off. Danny Mahar fouled him, and it was kind of a needless foul. Coleman went after that rebound with intensity. That's what Duke has done in this series. They're dead even in ACC tournament play. 2 meetings this year, each team won on the road. That's been Duke's habit all year. 11-2 away from home this year.
You mentioned Ben Coleman, Fred. I think he perhaps may be the key in this game for Maryland. They have to get some point production down low from him. He can give Duke trouble inside.
There it is. Ben Coleman got it. The other thing is that Duke has had foul problems this year, and they cannot afford to get their frontline people in foul trouble here.
They do not have a player that can match physically with Ben Coleman. Here's the alley-oop.
Johnny Dawkins.
Adrian Branch with his head turned the wrong way. The alley-oop pass to Dawkins.
That's a great pass, Jeff.
Excellent pass from Mahar.
Coleman having trouble. Maryland turns it over. Mike Krzyzewski has to love this guard. Lefty Drizel wants to talk about it. He says to his team as they come off, he spread his hands and said, what are we doing?
There's the alley-oop pass from Mahar. Up high by the rim. Johnny Dawkins catches it, lays it softly in.
What a leaper. We have timeout taken here in the Greensboro Coliseum with 15:30 left in our first half. Duke has opened a 6-point lead over the Terrapins. Welcome back to Greensboro. Fred White and Jeff Mullins. And Jeff, it may sound funny to a casual fan, but the term I'm going to use here, Duke has played pretty basketball to start this game.
Well, they've executed their game plan very well, both defensively and offensively. Johnny Dawkins with 2 big baskets.
Maryland turning it over 4 times. You saw a moment ago, and now they've got Maryland has Gatlin in the ballgame.
And Lefty Driesell very alertly recognizes the fact that they need better ball handling out there. Keith Gatlin, only a freshman, is their best ball handler. He could be also a key in this game for Maryland.
See if he can get the Terps in their offense. They haven't been able to do it yet. It's 8-2 Duke. Amaker working the corner. In the circle. He walked to the basketball. Duke has hit 4 out of 7 shots. Maryland 1 out of 4 to open this ball game.
Fred, another key with the insertion of Gatlin into the game. They've made a switch defensively. Adrian Branch that time was guarding Johnny Dawkins. That was the matchup that I expected to see at the start of the game.
There's Beal. Mahar out covering him and giving him problems. Beal picks up the dribble, lobs to Bias. He takes the off-balance jumper and sticks it. Len Bias with a tough shot off the baseline.
Said time and time again, Len Bias gets such a great look at the basket because he's such an outstanding leaper.
14:38 left in first half action. Allery got careless and lost the basketball. It's picked up by Beal. You won't see him make that mistake often. Gatlin gets penetration. The shot won't fall. Rebound back. 1 by 2. Jay Billis got up and pulled it down strongly. Dawkins with a long pass intended for Mahar. Mahar wasn't looking at him. Dawkins gambled that Mahar would turn in time. He didn't.
All of a sudden, 2 turnovers in a row for Duke. Johnny Dawkins saw Mahar open. Then he never turned to see the ball.
See what Maryland can do. This could be a momentum swinger. 2 turnovers now. If Maryland can answer with a bucket, they're only down by 2. Foul called on Tommy Amaker as Gatlin went to the baseline. So Amaker draws his first foul. The second called on Duke.
2 times down the floor with Gatlin in there. See how close he got the ball to the basket, Fred. That's what a good point guard can do. He can penetrate and get you starting your offense much closer to the basket.
Inbounds to Branch, to Bias, to Gatlin. Looks into Coleman, back out to Bias. 14:03 left in our first half. The ACC championship game from the Greensboro Coliseum. Packed house looking on. Bias with a turnaround jumper. Tried to bank it, couldn't get it. Big offensive rebound. Coleman threw it back up over his head. It wouldn't fall. Henderson pushing it up now for Duke. Tried to get it to Dawkins. Great catch and the shot fell. Almost impossible.
2 Maryland players got a hand on the ball, but Johnny Dawkins picked it up and laid it in.
I wasn't sure he could come up with the ball. Dawkins just really made a great catch. Branch banks it home. Adrian Branch has his first 2 points. It's 10-6, Duke by 4.
Adrian Branch, the tallest guard in the Atlantic Coast Conference and one of the tallest in the country, takes good advantage of his height.
Battle of the point guards. Tommy Amaker just took Gatlin into the circle and knocked down his first shot of the day. 13:09 left in the first half. Ben Coleman with a big offensive step back. The pace is pretty good right now. This is a game that Terp guard Adrian Branch called the brawl for it all. Turnover, Duke.
Johnny Dawkins saw an opportunity to penetrate that time, was going to make the pass. He threw the ball out of bounds.
Long lob, Coleman off balance, trying to save it. Dawkins picks it up, moves on Branch. I do not believe he got that shot down. He did a 360.
Adrian Branch, much bigger than him, cut him off. He did a 360 in the air and laid it very softly off the glass.
Is there any doubt who has the hot hand? Dawkins has 10. 5 for 7 from the floor and some tough ones involved. 14-8. Allery with the steal. Runs by Coleman. Moves on Branch. Takes it to the hole. Left ball. Coleman pulls it back down. Now Maryland. Beal off the baseline. Coleman. Nice fake down the lane. He goes. The shot is too short. And Henderson has the rebound. He's two-time. Wants to clear it. It's not loose. And Amaker comes out of there with it. The lob to Allery. Back to Mahar. Left hand up and gets it.
Deflected it to Mahar for the easy left-handed layup.
Jeff, a young team under pressure responding with beautiful, beautiful basketball here.
I watched the quotes in the paper today, and the Duke players said, yeah, we're young, but we don't play young. After you've gone through one ACC season like we have, we're an experienced team.
Len Bias, he squares up nicely and gets the shot away, hits it. He has 4, and it's 16-10. Duke by 6, 11-12 left in the first half. Some pace.
Exactly why I think Len Bias is one of the best players in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Time and again, he comes up with a big basket.
Look at the good move there. He lost his feet, sat down, kept it. That was supposed to be a pass. Mallory recovers it. The hard chance, and Coleman hauls it down, and Coleman starting to assert himself on the boards now. Out come the Terps.
Mark Allery got the shot he liked. He usually hits that one. He's been shooting a great percentage in the tournament thus far. He's a little cold early.
Branch, Coleman on the high post, 5 rebounds for Ben Coleman. Branch off the Coleman screen, won't fall. Beal's there. He's fouled. You can hear the skin slap even with the crowd.
Well, you can see the tone of this game, Fred. Everybody's going to have to pay inside. You're going to have to earn it if you get a basket close to the hoop.
Players who have hurt the other team in their head-to-head meetings so far. Len Bias scored 42 points, had 14 rebounds against Duke in 2 games. Mark Allery, 40 points, a dozen rebounds against Maryland. That foul was on David Henderson, his first, 3rd on Duke.
I remember in the first meeting between Duke and Maryland, Herman Veal hit some very big free throws in the clutch situation.
Just look at Herman Veal from the backboard. It's a new camera that NBC has mounted here today. It's getting you that shot. It had an interesting shot of a Dawkins lob earlier. It gives you quite a look at the game. Veal hits the second one. We have a timeout taken here. 10 minutes, 36 seconds left in first half action in this championship game. Duke leads Maryland by 5. We'll be right back. Jam-packed Greensboro Coliseum. Welcome back to the ACC Championship game. Fred White along with Jeff Mullins. And Jeff, is that impressive?
That's something that the Atlantic Coast Conference and all of its fans should be very proud of. And of course, don't forget back-to-back championships in 1982 with North Carolina, 1983 NC State. Quite an accomplishment.
The National Championship trophy has lived on Tobacco Road for 2 years now. And everybody out here hopefully kind of takes a liking to it and sticks around for a few more. And it has a chance to do it.
Fred, you were talking about how exciting doing the tournament games is, and then the fact that it's going to be all over pretty soon. It's just as exciting to the fans and the players, of course, as it is to us.
The announcers for this game are approved and selected by Raycom Sports, Jefferson Pilot Teleproductions. And any rebroadcast, retransmission, duplication, or reception of this telecast without the express written permission of Raycom Sports, Jefferson Pilot Teleproductions is prohibited. McNeely with the basketball for Duke. Henderson. Nice fake, and he drew the foul. The shot wouldn't fall, but he very wisely went ahead and attempted it.
That's smart basketball. David Henderson got Bias off his feet twice, actually. The second time when he got him up in the air, he initiated the contact, was able to draw 2 fouls.
A word about Mike Krzyzewski in this tournament championship game, first time, and he obviously has devised a good game plan to open this ballgame.
Watch that first one now.
His team has performed very well, and of course he got his first 2 ACC tournament wins this year.
David Henderson, Krzyzewski calls him my 6th starter. He's averaging 14 points a game off the bench. He is the 3rd leading scorer on the Duke team. 6'5" sophomore from Drury, North Carolina. Gets them both.
We just got a score from the Southwest Conference. Houston 20, Arkansas 16 in the first quarter.
I'm glad you heard that. I thought for a moment they said 60 to 20. I wondered what happened to Arkansas. 10:02 left in the first half. Len Bias took a walk in the lane, and they're going to turn the basketball over. Exactly midway through the first half. 10:00 left on the clock.
You'll see Bias get the ball in the lane. Nice pass from Branch. He shuffles his feet before he goes to make that move. Official in the right spot to make the call. Bias a little frustrated with himself.
Turnovers to here. Maryland 7, Duke 5. 18-11, Duke with a 7-point lead. They've led by as many as 8. Maryland has not had the lead. Duke opened the ball game with the first bucket. Maryland got the first possession. Duke got the first basket. Amaker threw it away. He was looking at a cut by Dawkins. A basket's not going to count. A very emphatic slam dunk on the other end of the floor. but a walk preceded it.
Excellent pass from Adrian Branch, but you'll see Bias bobble the ball. As he did, he traveled.
Danny Mahar back in the game. Our gallery out there.
Turnovers are so critical in championship play, Fred, because just as in that play, every basket, and particularly an easy basket opportunity, something you don't want to lose. Maryland just lost a big basket.
18-11 Duke. The score remains 9:26 left in our first half. Doug McNeely to Dawkins to Mahar on the wing. That's out of his range. The ball is kicked out of bounds by Ben Coleman. Now the magic of college basketball.
Both teams have stayed exclusively in the man-to-man defense so far in the game.
Mahar starts to drive and throws it away. There's a case where a fellow who is not a shooter had a shot and thought he would just give it up out of unselfishness. Probably should have taken it.
I think a little over-anxious because the pass was very firm, hard to handle.
9:08 left in first half action here. Gatlin against Dawkins. Coleman against Allery. Mahar has Bias. Beal and McNeely, and Beal takes the shot. It won't go. That was Terry Long that came down and tipped it in. Excuse me, not Beal. Long has 2 points.
Terry Long did a good job for Wake Forest yesterday while he was in the game. Shows that he's a very capable player.
Allery inside Henderson. Bias had it, and a foul's going to be called on Doug McNeely. He took it away. They committed the foul. His first, the fourth on Duke. And you know what? Maryland is not. Well, they committed one foul.
Ben Coleman coming over to help out. Excellent defense that time. Doug McNeely coming from the side, knocking the ball away, but committing the foul.
8:38 left in our first half. There are the team fouls. Duke 4. Maryland just 1. Len Bias has the only turf foul. Gatlin. Well, he threw a fastball. Len Bias caught it, turned around, and shot it very softly, made it.
Maryland doing the smart thing now, trying to get the ball inside where their power and strength is more of a factor.
Foul's going to be called on Adrian Branch right there. Maryland's a little more in the flow of things now. They look a little smoother.
And I have to give credit to Keith Gatlin for that. When he came in the game, they started executing their offense a little bit better. Look for Jeff Atkins to come back in the game, but at that point, they may move Branch to forward so that Gatlin can continue to handle the ball.
Duke leading by 3. Henderson, nice work in the lane by David Henderson. He has 4 points. Some of the Duke fans. Keith Gatlin. Gatlin takes Amaker down the baseline. He's doing a good job on defense. Amaker. Coleman against Villas. Long against Mahar. Coleman. The drive, and the foul is going to go against Duke. But Ben Coleman was going to the basket that time. No doubt about it.
If I were Lefty Drizel, that's the kind of determination I'd like to see on Coleman's face. When he plays hard like that, he is a force to contend with, and he'll give Duke trouble.
We're going to call it a shooting foul. The foul was against Jay Billis, his first. And Ben Coleman, a 71% free throw shooter, a 6'9 senior. With 4 points in this game, is on the line. Nice shot.
Ben Coleman with 5 points and 5 rebounds in the game. Important player for Maryland.
Nice shot both from Ben Coleman and from the camera. Is that a look at a basket being made? 7:47 left in our first half. We have a timeout taken here at the Greensboro Coliseum. Duke now leading Maryland by 3. We're back after this from Natural Light.
This exclusive ACC coverage is a presentation of Raycom Sports and Jefferson Pilot Teleproductions.
Welcome back, everyone. We're live in Greensboro. Duke leading Maryland 2017 in the championship of the ACC. At halftime, coming up, a great feature with Michael Jordan, the winner of the Wooden Award this year, and also we'll be talking with the ACC Commissioner, Bob James. Let's go back downstairs to Fred and Jeff.
All right, Jeff, let me ask you a question. Duke got up by 8. They had Maryland out of the offense. Now Maryland looks like they're kind of getting in the flow. What does Mike Krzyzewski do here?
It's very typical in a championship game. Teams start off slow. He may change his defense. He might try and push it out a little bit more. Both teams have more turnovers than both coaches would like. Maryland with 8. Duke with 7 turnovers early in this game.
Offense is finding your tempo. Defense is breaking it.
Interesting contrast in the type of turnovers, too. I think Duke has forced a lot on Maryland. On the other end, Duke has tried to do a little too much offensively with the ball. They've overpassed a few times and caused their own turnovers.
Allery, good. Tough shot by Mark Allery, and that's his first 2 points of the afternoon. He scored 41 points in the first 2 tournament games and 40 against Maryland in 2 meetings this year. Adkins, the lob to Coleman. He's there. Got position on Billis, but Billis partially blocks it. Good defense by Jay Billis. Duke by 5. Amaker is fouled. Jeff Adkins got him on the reach. The first foul on Adkins, the third on Maryland.
This is what Maryland wanted to do. Get it in low to Ben Coleman. He goes up. Billis comes out of nowhere to block the ball. Excellent defense by Jay Billis.
Mark Allery 1 for 4 from the floor, Jeff. I wanted to check for a moment. He just hit the first shot of the afternoon after 3 misses. Henderson. Coleman. Long pass up court. Glenn Bias has 8 points for Maryland. And it's a 3-point lead to Duke with 6:30 left in the first half.
Johnny Dawkins almost got a hand on the pass, but what a pass it was from Ben Coleman. Not an easy thing to do, Fred. Never brought the ball down, whipped it the length of the court.
Phillips, top of the circle, out of his range. Doesn't want the shot from there. There's Allery powering his way inside. It's going to be called a jump ball. He started to go in the air. A defender got a hand on the ball. He came back down with it. That is not a walk. The possession belongs to Duke.
Mark Allery had good position down low. Duke trying to get the ball. Long with good position. Slaps the ball away. Duke will take it out of bounds and start over.
Glenn Bias was behind him helping out. 6:10 left in the first half. 22-19 Duke. Dawkins flashing the baseline. Threw up a nearly impossible shot, and that one wouldn't go. He's made a couple of nearly impossible tries.
Johnny Dawkins is at his best offensively when he's in motion. Tommy Amaker trying to knock the ball away from Adrian Branch, knocks it out of bounds.
Second foul, Tommy Amaker. That's 16 fouls on Duke now. Mike Krzyzewski working hard. So is his counterpart, Lefty Drizel. Maryland will have the ball with 5:57 left in the first half. A 3-point lead to Duke. They have led by as many as 8. Maryland, a veteran club with good poise, took the punch and reacted well. Cross court to Branch.
Duke in a 2-3 zone, changing their defense. They prefer the man-to-man, but they will change it up slightly.
Gatlin's shot won't go, and Allery clears the rebound. Dawkins is going to run it up. Take it on in. Mahar.
That's the kind of turnover Duke has had, trying to overpass the ball a little bit on the offensive end.
Adrian Branch. Outside to Gatlin. Branch.
Adrian Branch using his size, getting into the seam of the defense. He's so strong and big in there.
4 points to Adrian Branch. 22-21. Duke's lead down to 1, and Dawkins trying to force it inside. They're trying to get it to Allery, and Maryland taking it away. Now the Terps could get their first lead of the afternoon right here with 4:41 left in the first half. 9 turnovers Duke, 8 Maryland. Branch from the corner. Maryland's in front. Adrian Branch picks up his 6th point, and Maryland leads for the first time today, 23-22.
Adrian Branch is what you call a scorer, Fred, and when he feels the hot hand, look out, because he'll get very aggressive offensively, as he's done with 2 in a row.
Amaker, nice lob to Allery, great fake, and he's fouled by Ben Coleman. That's the first on Coleman. Amaker, good penetration, good pass.
Nice playmaking by Tommy Amaker. You'll watch him penetrate into the free throw line area. Made a nice backdoor pass to Mark Allery. Mark, under control, makes a nice pump fake. He's fouled on the way up. He'll get 2 free throws.
And Ben Coleman did a pretty smart thing. He knew he was going to foul him, so he made sure that he fouled him good and didn't let him make the shot. Allery, 77% free throw shooter, missed.
How many times have we seen Ben Coleman hustle over to help out in this game? He's really into it mentally.
Terry Long sits down. Herman Beal back in the lineup for Maryland. Mallory, the 6'8" sophomore from Scottsdale, Arizona. Couldn't get it. Dawkins is going to shoot and hit it. Johnny Dawkins rebounding the free throw and picking up his 12th point.
Johnny Dawkins has played against Maryland 4 other times. He's had 91 points in those 4 games. He's from Maryland area. He likes to play well against a lot of his friends.
Branch off balance, shot too strong. Dawkins, big rebound. He's having a great first half. That is going to be a foul on Adrian Branch. Johnny Dawkins on the floor. Branch didn't like the call, and neither does left.
Duke had a 3-on-2 break. Dawkins wanted to accelerate. Branch had his feet stretched out. Let's take a look at it from another angle.
Well, I don't know.
Branch was definitely stationary. They did lock legs. That might have been why the foul was called.
You're looking at the Duke bench now. We have a timeout taken with 3:55 left in our first half. Tight ball game going. Duke is up by 1. Welcome back to the Greensboro Coliseum. Jeff, we said at the beginning of this telecast that somehow this tournament always lives up to the expectations. Well, this championship game is living up to it.
It really has. And you know, both teams, when they've played their style, Duke, when they used their quickness in the backcourt, created some turnovers, got a lead. Maryland got back in the game by going to their power game, getting it inside to Bias and Coleman, and that's what's brought them back.
What do you see happening in the rest of the first half? We talked about early minutes being so important. We have 3:38 left in this half.
Well, we've seen a lot of turnovers, and of course some of those are nervous turnovers. A lot of tension in the early parts of the game. I think both teams will settle down, and the key to the game is who can establish their game plan for particularly the rest of this first half.
Adrian Branch named it yesterday the brawl for it all, and I think he's hit it on the nose so far. Good basketball game going here. At 3:38, we have 3:51 left in first half. This ACC basketball game has been brought to you in part by Mazda, by Holly Farms, and by Boss Bakeries. Allery to Henderson, turned down a shot. Now Mahar, he doesn't want the shot.
Well, Ben Coleman is not coming out and playing him either, giving him the shot at the top of the key, but that's not Danny's shot. He'll work it around a little more.
Henderson to Allery, off the wing, a little strong with it. Dawkins tipped it to Mahar. Takes it. Danny Mahar powered it in, and Dawkins got a hand on it and tipped it into it.
Excellent offensive rebounding by Duke. They've been able to match Maryland on the boards. Both teams with 12 rebounds.
4 points, Danny Mahar, 3-point lead Duke. 3:08 left in the first half. Coleman outside to Gatlin. Adrian Branch at the baseline. Dawkins out with him. Len Bias, turnaround jumper. It's going to be called for a walk. He and Henderson collided. Second or third traveling call against Len Bias as he's trying to set up the shoot in this game. Got one going for a dunk. That's 3. Got one coming off a jumper.
He's such a team leader. He looks so intent on getting something going for Maryland offensively, getting a little over-anxious inside.
You saw Lefty's reaction. That was aimed at an official, not at a player. 2:43 left in the first half. Dawkins, quick move in the lane. Puts up the jumper. It won't fall. And Branch picks the rebound off the floor for Maryland. Hands to Gatlin. Maryland can get back within 1 here. Henderson pried that loose from Bias. Amaker moving on Gatlin. He was short with it. Big rebound to Allery. Working the baseline. Dawkins is there. Punch, shoots, and hits. Johnny Dawkins, 14 points in the first half of this ball game. 5-point lead to Duke.
Johnny's only 6'2½", but he has such great leaping ability. There's Pete Gatlin going baseline. Excellent one-on-one move. That's the kind of penetration Maryland needs.
We are seeing some individual talent in this game. 28-25 Maryland now. 1:53 left in the first half. Danny Mahar is going to shoot the jumper. 6 points, Danny Mahar. He might have been thinking about the fact that invited him to shoot, and he turned it down a couple of times and thought he better keep him honest. 1:38 left in the first half. Charging call against Adrian Branch. Big foul, Jeff. That's his third, and Lefty doesn't like the call at all. Now he's talking to Adrian about getting under control.
We're going to look at that play before. Mark Mallory got the ball underneath, but he got it out to Dawkins, and Dawkins just overpowered two larger Maryland players. Adrian Branch trying to do it himself, makes a nice move. David Henderson comes out. Was he stationary? He was able to draw the charge.
Jeff Adkins now has replaced Adrian Branch in the Maryland lineup. Danny Mahar. Henderson. Mahar, the lob to Dawkins, and the ball was pinned against the glass. Dawkins just couldn't quite get it under control. Pretty good thought. Bias. Nice jump shot off the baseline. Oh, he can shoot the jumper.
One of the advantages that Lefty Driesell has is that he's got two fine players on the bench. Branch goes out. Jeff Atkins, who is very explosive, can hurt you, comes in to replace him. Mark Fothergill has not been in the game yet, but he certainly is a pressure performer for Maryland.
Bias having another good day against Duke. 10 points in this game. He has 42 in the first two games against Duke this year, and he scored 30 in this tournament in Duke. One official had a foul, but one had walking before the foul occurred.
Called walking, and Maryland doing an excellent job of double teaming as soon as the ball goes inside against Duke.
34 seconds left in the first half. Duke leading Maryland 30-27. Beal. Mahar out covering. Glenn Bias to Ben Coleman. Shot will fall. Phillips clears the rebound. He has been strong on the boards for Duke. So now the Blue Devils can get the last shot. That's what Mike Krzyzewski wants. You see the clock. 12 seconds left in the half. Dawkins clears the timeline. 8 seconds left in the half. Dawkins works against Adkins. 4 seconds left. They're going to have to shoot it. Henderson takes to the circle, fires the jumper short, and the first half has come to an end with Duke holding a 3-point lead. Maryland had one brief little lead in this half of 1 point. But Duke has the lead at halftime, 30-27. Let's go upstairs to Paul Cameron.
Thank you, Fred White. What a game Johnny Dawkins has played so far. He's had 3 jumpers, 2 fast breaks, a steal, and 1 alley-oop. And he's also been battling against another number 24. That's Adrian Branch of Maryland, who's picked up his 3rd foul. Let's go now downstairs to Jeff Mullins, who's got Coach K.
Coach Krzyzewski, your defense the first half tended to pull Maryland out of their offense.
We're playing pretty well defensively, but we're rushing a little bit. We're showing our youth, I think, and being a little bit too anxious offensively.
I commented on the contrast in turnovers. You seemed to force them. On the other end, it looked like your guys were a little over-anxious, passing a little too much.
Right, I think we're causing our own turnovers, and we just have to settle down. It's a new experience for our team. We have to be a little bit more mature.
What do you look to do differently in the second half, Mike?
We just have to, make a few more passes offensively. We're just going a little bit too quickly when we're not in a transition game. I think that's our biggest adjustment.
Thank you for joining us. Good luck in the second half. Now back to Paul Cameron.
Thanks, Jeff. 30-27 at halftime. The Duke Blue Devils leading the Maryland Terrapins. When we come back, the story of Michael Jordan winning the John Wooden Award. Also, we've got the ACC Commissioner Bob Janes standing by. Stay tuned.